So I'm not saying that Alex Murdaugh is a narcissist, but at minimum, he's a very, very toxic person. And of course, if you're new here, I'm a narcissist. I actually have narcissistic personality disorder. So yesterday, if you don't know, Alex Murdaugh got found guilty of unaliving his wife and his son, Paul, in South Carolina. He was a former lawyer. His family is a family of prestigious lawyers and whatnot. So apparently, the motive behind him unaliving his wife and his son was to avoid shame. Narcissistic, toxic people's goal is to avoid shame at all costs, even if it means taking the life of your wife and of your son. Apparently, his son Paul had found a baggie of opioids or something like that, and they confronted him a month before the unalivings. And he got caught stealing a lot of money from his law firm, and that was going to be public as well. He was going to go to court for that as well. And to avoid shame, to distract from his own shame, to divert attention, he took the lives of his wife and his son. Allegedly, but he did do that. One thing narcissistic and toxic people do, they think they're smarter than everybody around them. For over a year, he spent time lying and said he wasn't at the scene of the crime. But when all else and evidence showed that he was there, he came out and testified saying, oh yeah, I was there. He came out and admitted to lying about a lot of different things, where his location was and things of that nature. And a lot of narcissistic people will do this, y'all. They will admit to lying. So they admit to lying about little stuff, a little smaller things, in order to try to get away and get you to trust them for bigger things. He admitted to stealing money, but he did hey, I lied about this, but I'm admitting to lying. So if I admitted to lying right now, that means I'm telling the truth later on. I didn't take the life of my wife and son, but I did steal money. I did do drugs. I was there apparently less than 10 minutes before they were unalived. You see what I'm saying? He got on the stand and was blubbering, crying, snot rolling out, like literally snot rolling out of his nose. But when he was convicted, when he was sentenced and whatnot, stone-faced. Imagine the darkness and the rage that this man had in his heart for his wife and his son, to take their life, to avoid the shame of going to jail for like financial crimes. You know how narcissistic, toxic people like to blame you for their own predicament, for the situation that they're in. And this is his son Paul right here, who could have contributed to bringing the shame to Alex Murdaugh and turning the spotlight on him as well in his possible financial crimes, because a few years before he was unalived, he was involved in the death of this woman right here, Mallory Beach. Because his son was involved in that death, and they said Alex Murdaugh was somehow involved in it as well, it could turn the spotlight on his financial situation. So he could have had some anger and resentment for his son for getting him involved in this situation. Like, it's your fault that this happened, so I'm going to take it out on you. He did it in the most horrible way possible, by apparently unaliving his son and then unaliving his wife, who was running to the aid of, their son. He lied up until the bitter end, y'all. Seriously. He thought that admitting to lying about little stuff could get him away with the big stuff. Oof. Hope this helped y'all. Be safe.